one of my weaknesses was because I wanted it so much, because I wanted to be the best, because I wanted to score runs so much, that I ended up burning out my mental energy. And that's where England, their cricket, their test side, especially since Brendan McCullum's come in. So we're all about entertainment. We're here to entertain, but they haven't won much. MSD still going incredibly well. Like it's amazing. It just shows the incredible skill that he's got, the incredible batting skill, the incredible keeping skill that he's got. Knowing that he's not playing, he's obviously training.
If you have to look back on Shane Watson's international career, how would you describe it? Are you content with how it went along, or what is it that you think?
So look, I'm very content with how it went, because in the end, I know that I did everything that I possibly could to be within the knowledge, information that I had around me to be the best that I could be. So I'm very content because I knew that I ticked every box that I could to be the best cricketer I could be. When it comes to looking back at certain parts of my career or certain formats, so Test cricket, look, I know that if I had these mental skills and applied them, I really believe, look, I had a better chance of being able to bat for long periods of time. I was good at getting up to 50, but to be able to actually bat for long periods of time, like the great batters in Test cricket were able to do, I'm confident I would have been able to do that, because one of my weaknesses was because I wanted it so much, because I wanted to be the best, because I wanted to score runs so much, that I ended up burning out my mental energy. And that's where so often I'd make mental errors, execution errors, because I was mentally fatigued. So I do look back from a Test cricket perspective and know that even though I did everything I possibly could to be the best, just by probably unlocking my mind more and applying mental skills, I believe I would have been able to I would have been able to make a better fist of Test cricket. Look, in the end, one-day cricket and T20 cricket was something that I ended up evolving to be the white ball cricket being my strength, because of how the game's set up, also the power game that I developed as well. So it ended up sort of suiting just the whole makeup of me. Whereas Test cricket, there was a couple of little things that I think would have made a big difference if I was able to find the right information at the right time.
Right. You still rue about not being able to bat time, but that's an art that's drastically on the wane in today's international cricket scenario, right?
Yeah, very much so. Test cricket in particular is something that's really taken on a new. It's evolved so much, and now it's not so much been able to absorb pressure. It's more so putting pressure back onto the bowlers at any opportunity that you can. The art that you think about someone like Brian Lara, Sachin Tendulkar, Ricky Ponting, these like incredible batters, Jacques Kallis, like they had an amazing skill at being able to absorb pressure and take it on to them being able to put it back onto the bowlers and the fielders over time. Whereas nowadays, it's if we're under pressure, we fight fire with fire. That art and skill of batting time is certainly not as it's changed. It's not as important in this modern game.
Is that a healthy sign for Test cricket? How do you look at it? Or is it going to diminish, or is it going to uh, end up resulting in too less to choose between limited overs cricket and Test cricket over a period of time?
Look, for me, it's a great thing in a way. It provides a lot of entertainment. The downside to it is that certain players might not fit the mold that this modern Test cricket is looking for. You think about some cricketers who might not have got opportunities like if they came through in this era. You think about like Pujara, you think about like Alistair Cook, you think about even Justin Langer to a point. The guys who were more just better at absorbing pressure and waiting for loose balls, putting them away. those players coming through nowadays, with what coaches, with what the game plans are, might not get the opportunities that they really deserve to have, because certain players are pigeonholed and a lot earlier nowadays. So that's sort of certainly the downside to the way things have moved. That unless you do play your shots and you take the bowlers on, and it's a more high risk game, and you score quickly, then you might not get the opportunities that actually, like, those players crafted incredible, like, world-class careers in Test cricket. So that's probably for me, that's the downside, that we might miss some of the world's best Test cricketers and Test batters in particular, because of the way teams expect players to play nowadays.
Right. And you mentioned the entertainment. We have been watching teams struggle with while striking the balance between being entertaining and winning on the field.
Yeah.
England is a great example in that regard. Uh, you are a part of an extended golden generation of Australian cricket.
Mm.
I'm sure entertainment at the cost of not winning never touched on your minds when you all were a part of the
Yeah.
international setup. Uh, how
Mm.
delicate is that balance, and what would you choose in considering the cricket ecosystem of today? How delicate is it to strike that balance?
Uh, Look, everything that I got taught growing up in and around the Australian cricket system, it was all about winning. The entertainment part, look, in the end, to be able to play at your best as a team, as individuals, that would be entertaining because of the way that the players played. But it was not. It was never talked about. Entertainment was not talked about. It was more, okay, we need to do whatever we can to be able to give ourselves the best chance of winning. From a batting perspective, we need to, if you're an attacking player, then you be attacking, because that's the best version of you. If you're a bit more absorb pressure, bat more time, and that's the best version of you, then you do that. So that's where. And look, obviously, England, their cricket, their test side, especially since Brendan McCullum's come in. So we're all about entertainment. We're here to entertain, but they haven't won much. So in the end, that really will, like, over a period of time, people will sort of get sick of, well, we entertained, but we lost, but my team lost, because it's really high risk. So that was certainly, it's not the ethos in the Australian team. It never has been, and I'd be surprised if it ever will be.
Personally, what's more special to you, Shane, 2008 or 2018 when it comes to IPL?
Oh, geez, yeah, that's. I look, that they're both, like, as special as each other in different ways. The 2018, 2008, winning that IPL, that was a time where I was really, from an Australian cricket perspective, I've been on the scrap heap because of my injuries that I'd had over the previous sort of couple of years. So I was really at a sort of crossroad with my position in the Australian team. So the IPL came along, an international quality tournament came along at just the perfect time for me, where I'd really worked on my body to make it more resilient, and my power hitting and my bowling and everything. It was a perfect storm, as well as the backing that I got from Shane Warne. He always believed in me from the first time that I met him. He really did believe in me, which gave me so much confidence, from one of the greatest cricketers that's ever played, to have that belief in me, and then the opportunities that he gave me throughout that 2008 tournament. It just, then everything sort of just took off from there. And also, it's even more special knowing, one, even before Shane Warne passed away, I know it was one of Shane Warne's, like, career highlights was winning that 2008 IPL, with all the ridiculous things that he achieved during his career. To know that I was a part of one of the most special achievements in his career, and his life was very special, knowing very sadly that he's no longer with us, it just makes that even more special to know as a big part of that. And then when you move to 2018, I was at a point where CSK believed in me, Stephen Fleming and MS Dhoni believed that I still had some good cricket left in me, and to be able to have that opportunity to be able to open the batting and be a part of the CSK franchise, which really is something else. That's a really special team environment to be around that obviously has been set up so beautifully by MS Dhoni and Stephen Fleming. So that was an absolute like treat to be a part of for the 3 years that I was there in 2018, to be able to contribute like I did in the final. I know how much it meant to them, which that's the reason why you play, you know, in team environments, is to be able to hope to perform, to be able to like make people around the team happy. And that was something that I just knew how much it meant to MS Dhoni and Stephen Fleming and the rest of the whole, you know, CSK franchise. And it was nice that I could contribute like I did in that final.
Yeah, when it comes to Dhoni, what do you think is more likely to happen? You all playing together in Masters League anytime soon, or you'll have to make a comeback and play IPL again?
Well, yeah, I don't think any of the above are going to happen. I think yeah, MSD is still going incredibly well. Like it's amazing. It just shows the incredible skill that he's got, the incredible batting skill, the incredible keeping skill that he's got. Knowing that he's not playing, he's obviously training a lot, but he's not playing any games up until the IPL. And for him just to be able to have that skill, that world-class skill available to him, like you see with the gloves, and you see now his role's changed, but to be able to come in with like 10 balls of an innings to go and hit sixes, that is not easy to do at any stage of your career. So, yeah, I'm not sure if MSD will, after he stops playing IPL, look, and he can keep going for a number of years, if he's going to then move into Masters, because I don't think he needs to go down that route.
Okay. Then we touched upon the 2008 IPL. At any point, did any of you envision that, howsoever chaotic the first year of IPL was, uh, off the field especially, everyone was kind of in the dark what we were getting into. Uh, it was something that is going to change the global cricket landscape altogether. Did you envision back then?
Oh, look, at that time, I do remember. I certainly do remember it being like a celebration of world cricket. You know, to think that we were a part of something that like the IPL, like no one envisioned being a part of something like that. And look, there were some tensions that were like starting to boil over within the world game at that time, whether it's between Australia and India, whether it was between Australia and South Africa. There were things that were really starting to boil over. So this really was a way to really take that pressure and release the pressure, you know, the pressure valve that was really starting to accumulate within world cricket. So all the players who were a part of it really did start to understand and get to know people as human beings away from like the pressure cooker of international cricket. And people did really see it as a celebration of world cricket. So, you know, they're having a great time on and off the field. It was important to play well, but it wasn't as high stakes as it got to throughout sort of, you know, after a few years of the IPL, where it just became, look, we have to win no matter what. It's not just a celebration of world cricket. Like this is really like proper serious, and we need to like win. So things certainly turned the corner a little bit, probably from year 4 onwards. But yeah, it's certainly, thank gosh for the IPL, because it really did take a lot of tension out of international cricket. Because even if you weren't playing with someone that you might have had some issues with on the field, one of your really good mates that you're playing within your country became really good mates with you know, someone that you might have been having a few issues with on the field. So it really did take a lot of the heat out of international cricket, which was really important.
Is that for better or for worse? How has it turned out?
Oh no, only for better. No, it was only for better, because yeah, there were things that were boiling over on, you know, on the field in international cricket, and it was a really important thing to be able to really just take the heat out of it. So it was still, an international cricket will always and was still going to be very competitive, because, you know, you're playing for your country, it's survival mode, you're pushing the limits to how good you can be. But when you know the opposition that you're playing against, you'll still be very and ultra competitive, but you won't go over the line, which was you know, things were starting to get that way.
Lovely. Thanks a lot, Shane. I've taken too much of your time.
All good. Pleasure. Great questions.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.